the reason for telling you all that, of course, is coming back to the skill shortage. We've already got a skill shortage. As long as I've been involved in CIBSE, we've been talking about a skill shortage in our industry, and how we can attract more young people. Again, another interest. I was interested to hear some of the staff at Balham had been looking at the minutes of a council meeting from 1923. Mm-hmm. So 100 years ago, our predecessors were discussing exactly the same things. But I mean, my view is, and I did a little bit of research on this last year, you know, I don't think the skill shortage has to be, you know, should it be such a difficult thing for us to fix? We know that over the last 40 years or so, the number of people, the 14 to 16-year-olds leaving school, sorry, not 14, 16 to 18s leaving school has been fairly constant. And so it's not that there are less people leaving school, less people available to us. It's the number that are coming into the construction industry as opposed to other sectors. So the first thing that we're going to do, which starts to address some of the questions you are, is that you'll see next week we're going to relaunch, whatever you want to call it, a new initiative, which is CIBSE STEM Ambassadors. So what we're going to do is try and we've got already, and West Midlands is one. You know, we've got some great volunteers in CIBSE that are already committed to going into their local schools and colleges to promote careers in building services. What we want to try and do is to turbo boost that, to increase the reach, if we can, to include those still at school that are thinking about the choices that will dictate their further courses of study and employment. Then we should be able to attract more of them. I mean, basically, it's a fight over them, isn't it, with the rest of the sectors?
I think it does have to be at school level, because by the time they're in A levels and GCSEs, they've already sort of got an idea of what path they want to follow.
Yeah, and CIBSE historically, because it hasn't had the resources other than through the regions, it engages with the universities, the colleges and universities, and at that point it's too late, because they've already decided what they're going to do. So if they're going to go and do law or medicine, they've made that decision. If they're doing an engineering degree and then CIBSE come along, the IET, then you're fighting over a sizable pool. If you can increase the size of the pool, even if you get the same share, you get more people coming into your industry.
And it's harnessing those problem-solving, questioning, analytical sort of brains.
Yes, that's right. And I always, and building services has just got, I'm going to say next week, building services has just got sexy. So we've all been going to our schools and colleges now. Finally, we've got computers. We can compete with these other sectors. We've got computers. We've got building simulation, climate-based simulation. We've got 3D modeling, data exchange, all the computer stuff that we've got, that sort of thing. So, and I think if you combine that with our role in saving the planet, then surely, because the youngsters are really passionate about it. You know, they're setting. I mean, it's their generation, isn't it? It's we can see the temperatures going up. We can see the floods and the effects of that. But the next generation is really going to, and so they're rightfully, you know, angry about it. You know, Greta Thunberg and all that sort of thing is, and rightly so. So I think so. Now is the time. We've got no excuse to not. We can compete. So that's what we're going to try. So CIBSE, a new initiative, CIBSE STEM Ambassador Program or scheme. We're going to do it in partnership with STEM Learning, which some of you will already know about, and some of you will already be. It will help our regions to help shape the future of our industry by attracting more young people onto our university courses or into our apprenticeship schemes, depending on how they want to do it. We're going to, we're targeting, I'm putting a challenge out there for each region, both in the UK and the overseas regions, to have 10 by this time next year. So that's not more work for the committees.
Ambassadors.
10 STEM ambassadors, active STEM ambassadors. We've already got a resource hub on the website that's got CIBSE specific presentations and careers materials. Registration on the hub is easy. It provides help for DBS checks, for training and learning materials, and most importantly, it gives, because I think that's the biggest problem, it gives access to schools that are asking for our help. I mean, again, I know you guys and I did it in East Anglia. It's for getting in. You ring the school reception and say, who's your careers advisor, and they say, well, don't really know if we've got one. And eventually you get through to someone. Eventually you make a relationship, and then you go back to them next year to say, and then they've gone, and you go through all that. But with the STEM learning, they log on as well and say, we want some. So it's putting the two parts together. So we're going to give that a go and try and turbocharge it, which I think is a logical next step at this time for us to try and do that. So I'm putting that out there.